For 17 years, in the month of February, in Times Square, we've been celebrating love. We're here at the 17th annual Love and Design competition, celebrating the winning design and winning designer and architect, Pernilla Ohrstedt.
My name is Pernilla Ohrstedt. I run Pernilla Ohrstedt Studio, a design and architecture practice based here in New York. And the piece that you see behind me is called Love Ever After. It's designed to be something that draws you in. It's constantly shifting and changing, and like a rainbow, it sort of appears and reappears. It's not only about creating something beautiful, it's also about how to design the life cycle of a project.
How can architecture be a symbol of optimism and creativity and prove that this industry also provides hope and solutions for the future?
It was my job to experiment with it and figure out the way to make it. Every time I look at it, I'm always, wow. And now it's like in the most prominent spot maybe in the world.
Times Square is a site of advertising and billboards and architecture and culture and urbanism. It is like a metaphor for all the busiest places you've ever been.
Times Square is the heart of New York. People gather from all over the world to be here amid the chaos and beauty.
I wanted this project to celebrate the Billion Oyster Project here in Times Square, a place famous for sending messages.
Something worth stopping people in their tracks for is this notion of love, both for each other, for our planet.
It's a low-tech sort of billboard broadcasting this message of design and architecture that can also take environmental care. The metal mesh I used for this sculpture is the same metal mesh that the Billion Oyster Project uses for their oyster gabions.
Oyster cages, that's what this is built out of.
This incredible piece will be taken apart and reshaped into dozens of oyster research stations.
And they get submerged into the waters all around New York City in order to reach a billion oysters and clean the waters of the New York harbors and protect our shorelines.
We're working to restore New York Harbor.
Billion Oyster Project creates oyster reefs by repurposing oyster shells from restaurants. You have your oyster happy hour, you have a little martini, you're having a great time. Those oyster shells, instead of sending them to landfills, some of them will go into cages and be set with oyster larvae, and some of them will go into some of our larger reef structures. We are building back biodiversity, cleaning the water, and getting New Yorkers involved.
For me, this project isn't finished until this sculpture ends up in the water supporting these reefs. And this is actually the part that I find most romantic about this project, connecting Times Square, the heart of the city, to its shoreline.